Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Denver Broncos in tonight's video. Right here, you're seeing Jarrett Stidham hand it off to Harvey for the touchdown. I love how he maintains his feet. He doesn't go down. I wanted to include this because last night RJ ran 3 times for 18 yards, including this touchdown here. Just kind of pops out of a cannon. He's got it all. I really am super excited about this acquisition in the draft. Here's the thing. People are like bringing up J.K. Dobbins. They're bringing up depth charts. And here's the thing. Because if you didn't know, R.J. Harvey was the Broncos' second-round draft pick out of UCF. And there's a lot of hype around him. And then the first depth chart comes out and he was not number 1. And people start to freak out. And even the addition of J.K. Dobbins had people freaking out. And I'm sitting here, probably like every other I'm a Packers fan, but like Broncos fans, is anybody actually freaking out? Is anybody believing a Sean Payton depth chart first off? But I wanted to include this because first off, it's a touchdown and we're making a Broncos video and he's the second round draft pick. But here's the thing. It's so annoying because this world is so fantasy football focused. No Broncos fan is worried about RJ Harvey. No Broncos fan was worried when J.K. Dobbins got signed because of RJ Harvey. It's just a fantasy football mindset saying, oh, I thought RJ Harvey was going to be a league winner and I was going to be able to pick him up in the 5th round and nobody knew. And it's just, I find it really annoying. I find it, to be honest with you, like I said, very annoying. So RJ Harvey's going to have a great rookie season. No matter what his statistics are and where he is on the depth chart, RJ Harvey is going to make a huge impact on the Denver Broncos. But let's keep it moving because you guys had a really nice game. All right, speaking of youngsters, this was the youngster game. And this is Troy Franklin catching one of his 2 touchdowns that we will show you in today's video. Folks, 4 catches, 67 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jarrett Stidham also had a really nice game. I am so big on this wide receiver room. And one thing, like if we want to get into the film right here, look at how late he brings his hands up. So right here, the ball is literally right in the air. I mean, I'm trying to pause it at the proper time, but do you see how late he brings his hands up? Like this is signaling to the defensive back that you don't need to put your hands up to deflect this football, right? So he has super late hands. This is something we really didn't see from Troy Franklin because, first off, the Broncos last year especially had so many wide receivers that, like Marvin Mims at the end of the year, Cortland Sutton the entire season. It's just like this kind of hodgepodge, this like motley crew of interesting, fascinating young wide receivers. Devon Vele, like these guys are really making strides, and we'll show you another clip of Troy Franklin, but I really like this because of his hand placement and how late he puts his hands up to catch this football, because otherwise, that defensive back there for the Arizona Cardinals, if your hands go up too quickly, all right, let me put my hands up to maybe even turn my head, try and intercept this, but at the very least deflect that football. All right, I'm throwing this in for my Broncos guys here because the running back room is fascinating in and of itself. And this is Jaleel McLaughlin. And, by the way, it feels so good to be making Broncos content, live Broncos content. He rips this for 35 yards. Now, unfortunately, I'm not the National Football League. I can't show you this entire clip, but basically he gets tackled right here at the 14, whatever. Jaleel has unbelievable speed. And in this clip right here, because this is on NFL Network, whoever's talking, whoever the announcer was last night, he's saying, he's trying to make the roster. And I heard that, and I was like, that's crazy. That's crazy talk. And then I looked at the roster, and I totally forgot, J.K. R.J. Harvey both making the roster, right? Audric Estime, the rookie last year from Notre Dame, my favorite college football program. Now you got Jaleel McLaughlin, Youngstown State legend. And then you also have Tyler Beatty, who was popping off last season for a little bit, and then he got injured. So I wanted to include this for my Broncos fans because what do you think about that running back room? Are you guys carrying, I assume, 4 running backs, but who in that room is making this roster? Let me know down below because until this literal moment, I didn't know Jaleel McLaughlin's job was in jeopardy as far as making the 53-man roster. I have to give so much credit to Jarrett Stidham. I remember, so I don't even know. Oh, that's a weird angle to do. But anyways, this is another Jarrett Stidham touchdown to once again Troy Franklin. And Jarrett Stidham's a really interesting backup QB here for Bo Nix, because one thing you notice, and first off, another Troy Franklin touchdown. Hell yeah, he's getting open here. Great route. Great route. Find the soft spot in the zone, and Stidham puts it in perfectly, absolutely perfectly. Bo Nix didn't obviously deal with injuries last season. The backup quarterback spot, now that you guys are literal contenders, now that you guys are an actual playoff team, it's time where you have to start thinking about this. Like, I'm a Green Bay Packers fan. Jordan Love, week 1, gets injured on, the third to last play of the football game in Brazil. Malik Willis comes in weeks 2 and 3, wins both of them. I mean, it was so big. It was so huge for the Green Bay Packers last year. And so I did want to just kind of, it's almost like a double doink here, where Jarrett Stidham looks really good. He had a really good training camp. He had a really good summer. He had a really good preseason so far. And I just feel really comfortable with him being that backup guy over in Denver. And then obviously Troy Franklin continues to do his thing. I saw Evan Ingram make a beautiful statement about him, that he believes in him and that he thinks he is next up and that he's got a great future in the National Football League. Absolutely love this. First off, the play call. People say preseason's vanilla. The play call, a play action, while Jarrett Stidham is 4 yards into the end zone here. Pat Bryant, keep an eye on him in this play. We'll point him out in a second. Evan Ingram, this is a 58-yarder to Evan Ingram. And he's going to catch this football right here. And he's just going to rattle it off for 58 yards. Now, like I said, unfortunately, I'm not the National Football League. I can't just show you as many clips as I please. Breaks this tackle. Beautiful block from number 11 there. But then we get a Pat Bryant. All right, because the next couple of clips are going to include Pat Bryant, number 13, rookie wide receiver out of the University of Illinois, my hometown state. He finished the game with 4 catches for 70 yards. He himself has also had a really good preseason, but here's one of the reasons why myself, along with all of you Broncos fans, are so big on him, which, by the way, hit that like button, hit that sub button. Trying to make as many Broncos videos as we can, but if trying to get this one to 100 likes, folks, it makes a really big difference to me. Thank you guys so much. So keep an eye on 13 right here, Pat Bryant, like we're mentioning, because here's Evan Ingram. Now, typically, I don't need to even spell it out. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 Arizona Cardinal defenders. So typically what's going to happen is your tight end or whoever this is going to get to about here. And then number 30 is going to come in here or get the tackle, hit him out of bounds, softly hit him out of bounds. Or Evan Ingram's going to just, go out of bounds. Right? Huge gain already. 30-yard gain already. But look at Pat Bryant putting in that work and blocking so that the sideline is still open. And Evan Ingram ends up getting past that, and he's going to go even more yards because this is a 58-yard catch from Evan Ingram. But if we go all the way back here, I mean, where does he catch this ball? He catches it at the 12, finishes almost at halfway at the 50-yard line. So I'm so big on Evan Ingram. I'm so big on Pat Bryant. That tight end is a game changer on this Broncos offense. And let's get into some Pat Bryant stuff. I have a strong feeling this upcoming season, just like last year for the Broncos wide receiver room, it's not going to be something where statistically you're keeping that much of a tally on. Like fantasy football players, like we kind of mentioned at the beginning of this video, they're not going to be a huge fan of maybe the Denver Broncos even in general, but I mean, that sounds kind of out of pocket, but you know what I'm saying here. This is one of Pat Bryant's catches. This guy is going to be so reliable. You know what he kind of reminds me of? He kind of reminds me of Isaac Teslaw with the Detroit Lions right now, where it's just, one of these mid-round draft picks that is just an absolute gem that you're going to rely on him if you're a Denver Broncos fan this upcoming season, where it's not going to be like, 90 catches for 1,650 yards because people are so statistically opinionated these days. Pat Bryant's just going to be so big for this team this upcoming season. Kind of like, Marvin Mims. We already mentioned him at the beginning of this video. The second half of last season, dude starts absolutely feasting. But if I were to pull up Marvin Mims' box score, his statistics in his first couple of years in the NFL, I'm sure it's nothing too eye-shattering. we'll probably end it on this because, once again, Pat Bryant, this was one of his catches he had 4 for 70 yards once again. And he's just going here. We haven't even talked about the rookie first-round draft pick, and we're about to. But I really wanted to pinpoint this because this is an impressive catch. And I know it seems stupid, it seems foolish, but just the fact that you're going all the way down here, I mean, it's not a great ball by Jarrett Stidham, and he'd be the first to tell you, you got to get down there. And he also picks up the first down. So this is something you see too much of, like rookie tight ends, rookie wide receivers. You see too many second-year tight ends, too many second-year wide receivers that just don't come down with this football. Think it like Quentin Johnston, right? Not to just throw some shade to the Los Angeles Chargers, but think of Quentin Johnston when you see this. Pat Bryant's not going to drop too many balls this upcoming season. And I've hyped him enough. Let's get into your first round pick. All right, guys, we're going to end it here. I appreciate y'all watching this here. It's Sunday. It's kind of Sunday night here. I'm about to go out to dinner here, so I apologize if it feels a little bit rushed because I wanted to show you the other 2 catches from Pat Bryant because there was one that was the most impressive, to be honest with you. But I kind of like the tedious, that's not a good word, but I kind of like the vanilla, just kind of the stuff you don't really see on Twitter, the stuff you don't see on the stat sheet. Here's Jahdae Barron. This is a great tackle for loss, and we made a Broncos video a couple of days ago. I know he doesn't technically bring him down on himself, and he gets a little reinforcement here, but well, first off, not to rant real quick, but the whole new NFL rules on tackling are super BS. They're super whack. You can't even do this stuff in summer anymore, so it takes some of these guys a little bit to learn how to tackle, especially if you're going to be a rookie. We made a video a few days ago. Go check it out if you want to. Jahdae had 4 total tackles, and this is for obviously a tackle for loss here. Here's the thing, man. This defense is loaded. I mean, this defense is quite literally loaded, and we couldn't go a Broncos video without talking about that defense, so I wanted to throw this one in here. We'll do a more We'll do a more full view Broncos video, offense, defense, all that fun stuff as the week progresses. But I did want to get this kind of film analysis video out to all my Broncos fans because we kind of been slacking on that recently. So I apologize. But folks, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit that like button, hit that sub button if you haven't already. Give me all your thoughts. Give me a grade rating for the Denver Broncos' second preseason game, and we'll see you soon. Peace.